Hey everyone, this is Steve G for Chef Knives to Go with another quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Takayuki Sanpou Shitogami or white number 2 Kasumi Gyuto 2 10mm knife. It's a really nice looking knife with a great finish on it. The Kasumi refers to the finish and the grind down towards the edge, old school, old style. This is a pretty stiff knife with a lot of backbone to it and some heft. And just a nice strong feel on the cutting board. The knife is composed of all reactive steel, so there's no stainless or anything on this. The core steel is Shitogami or white paper number 2, reactive high carbon steel. Heat treat typically around 62, maybe 63 on that core steel. The construction has soft iron reactive cladding on either side of that core steel. It's a 3-layer construction, so the entire blade is reactive, so you need to use it, clean it, dry it, and put it away completely dry, and you'll be great. You'll be fine. It will start to gather a patina as you use it to help put an oxidation layer on there for some protection. So it's not like these will rust just looking at them every time you use them. As you use them, you'll get a patina going, and it'll help, but you definitely don't want to leave them wet. The weight and dimensions can vary a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 203 grams or 6.2 ounces. Handle's a nicely finished octagonal wenge handle. It's just one piece of wood, a little bit squarish in proportions, but thins out a little bit towards the handle. You can see the tang going in there. It's almost the same width, not quite, but there's a nice curve. Nicely finished, by the way, in the choil, the back of the blade for a finger for a pinch grip. Also, just quick side note, this Shitogami or white number 2, white number 1, those are so easy to sharpen. They will make you feel like a sharpening champ. They just love to get sharp, and they will get as sharp as your skills allow. So you sacrifice some edge retention, but they're so doggone easy to sharp, or just put on a strop and maintain that edge that you won't care. So, edge length, it's a little undersized, 204 millimeters is what I got on this one, about 8 inches on the edge. Overall length, about 357 millimeters or 14 inches. Thickness-wise, again, it's a fairly stiff, hefty blade. I got about 3.75 millimeters towards the back above the heel, and then halfway down I got about 3.25 millimeters, and it doesn't really thicken out or thin out a touch, but it does have a taper, and as you can see, as it tapers towards the tip, it's not a super skinny tip, but it's fairly thin. That tip's not going to just ghost through stuff, but it'll have some backbone too, so it's a compromise. Here is the choil shot. Again, it's not ghost thin, but thin enough where this will be a pretty good compromise between performance, muscularity, food release, and wedging. I think it'll be a pretty good balance. It's not going to be a laser type of knife. Height on this is about 49 millimeters, so it's plenty tall. As I mentioned, there's a nice curve here for your finger for a pinch grip. Blade's got a little heft to it, so that brings the balance point of this particular blade to about right there, which for me is pretty close to a pinch grip, pinch point or balance point, fulcrum point. It's maybe a touch handle heavy, but not much for the way I hold the knife. So somewhat neutral. Nice fit and finish. They've got, as you can see, some polish on the top, on the spine, and they've beveled the corners nicely on the choil. No sharp edges. Really clean grinds. Stiff. Out of the box edge was very, very good on this. I'm giving it a 7 to 8 out of 10 on my scale, which is very sharp and a nicely formed edge. The kanji on it, I guess let's do our beauty shot. We haven't done that yet. So you've got some heavily embossed kanji and symbol on the right side of the blade as you're using it. You can see that, what they call Kasumi, kind of old style finish and grind down towards the cladding, and then here's the edge with the core steel. I shouldn't say the edge, here's the core steel, here's the edge. Additional embossed kanji on the left side of the blade. So just really nice classic look to it. Let's take a look at the cutting board profile. So let's see what this guy looks like. You can see it's almost kind of a spear tip style to it. So here we go. So I'm flowing into a pretty flat area towards the back. It's a real smooth roll into that. It's not quite all the way flat. You got a little air there. You can see that little gap there, but pretty flat down that back part. Just a nice smooth, you can see gradual belly there to it. So I'm getting pretty well up there before I dig that tip into my board here. So this will rock pretty nicely over medium to small stuff, no problem at all. Tip draws, pretty good, pretty easy to do. Push-pull cuts, glide cuts will be super easy. A little bit of chopping towards the back. So just pretty good all-around profile using that 200 millimeters, 204 millimeters of edge length. So if you want something that's old school style, all reactive, but super easy to sharpen, we'll get a nice patina over time. High quality, nice grinds. Something with a little heft to it and stiffness. This is a great package. This is the Takayuki Sanpou Shitogami or white number 2 Kasumi Gyuto 210mm knife from Chef Knives to Go.